eTrac is a comprehensive online vocational training curriculum that teaches practical job search and job retention skills. In addition to presenting information that applies to all job seekers, eTrac incorporates information related to some of the specific obstacles faced by people with cognitive or physical disabilities, gaps in employment, chemical dependency, and other challenges. The eTrac curriculum consists of 6 self-contained courses that cover the entire job search and job retention process, including exploring a career, filling out the paperwork, starting your job search, interviewing for a job, evaluating and accepting a job offer, and finally, keeping a job. Each eTrac course is set on Main Street, USA, where job seekers learn important information in familiar settings like their apartment, the local workforce center, grocery store, neighborhood library, an office building, warehouse, or even a diner. And to make it even more fun, users select an avatar on how they want to be represented as they move through all the different eTrac adventures. Throughout the curriculum, job seekers practice important computer skills such as using a mouse to scroll up and down, entering passwords, creating documents, and using the internet. Let's look at each course in more detail. The first course is Exploring a Career. Research shows that job success is closely tied to working in a job or industry that you find interesting. Using the comfortable, familiar setting of a neighborhood diner, the job seeker is guided through a personal discovery process that begins at the salad bar, where the job seeker learns about the connection between personal interests and work values and long-term job success, and is introduced to some simple assessment tools that might be useful. Thanks to a helpful waitress and an interactive lunch, the job seeker learns about the role personality, individual skills and abilities, education, and past experiences play in finding the right job. Job seekers also learn resources for checking out jobs and careers. They also learn about the importance of identifying what they need and want from a job, and how a need differs from a want. This will help them decide what jobs to apply for, as well as help them determine whether or not a job offer is right for them. They then capture their needs and wants through an interactive exercise. Course 1 also outlines some of the attributes, or soft skills, that employers are looking for. These skills are reinforced throughout the eTrac curriculum. An inspirational video helps set a positive tone for the curriculum. In this video, job seekers with employment barriers share their personal journeys. The course wraps up with Karen's Kitchen. This video spotlights eTrac's chef extraordinaire as she blends the key concepts presented in Course 1 to whip up a successful career plan. The second course is Filling Out the Paperwork. This course introduces some of the common paperwork associated with a job search. Learners are introduced to the personal information that most employers request, and then gather their own information into a single document that they can refer to when preparing job search materials and completing job applications. After taking the bus to the workforce center, job seekers are introduced to different types of job applications and learn tips for completing them, making a good impression while completing an application, and answering difficult questions related to gaps in employment, disabilities and accommodations, criminal history, and other sensitive issues. In Course 2, students also learn about different types of resumes and their purposes before creating their own resumes. Job seekers also are introduced to other supporting materials they can use during their job search to impress potential employers or explain a special situation. Some of the materials discussed in the course include cover letters, letters of recommendation, work portfolios, and letters of explanation. Course 2 wraps up with Hunt for Jobs, featuring the eTrac players, some of them with disabilities. The lively game show format provides a fun, lighthearted way to review what was learned in the course. The third course is Starting Your Job Search. In this course, job seekers start looking for job openings after getting some last-minute reminders from a friendly parrot. Job seekers take the bus to the local warehouse to learn about the latest job search trends, including tapping the people you know and using other employment resources. They also learn ways to tap into the hidden market. In Course 3, job seekers also are introduced to the concept of career networking, including a quick review of some common pitfalls related to using social media as a job search tool and the purpose of informational interviews. Learners then have the chance to apply this information by identifying people they know who can help them find job openings and to make a contact. Job seekers also learn to create a job search plan and use a job search log to stay on track. Now that they're ready to begin applying for jobs, job seekers have a chance to apply what they've learned through an interactive exercise that presents common application situations. The outside assignment for this course requires the learner to find a job posting and complete a job log. Course 3 concludes with a job search intervention featuring eTrac's very own teletherapist, Dr. Bill. Dr. Bill reinforces key information while counseling a job seeker whose job search has stalled. The fourth course is Interviewing for a Job. In this course, job seekers learn the ins and outs of effective job interviews, including best practices that they can apply before, during, and after a job interview. A successful interview begins with good preparation. This course introduces different types of job interviews that a job seeker might encounter and how to prepare for an interview. For example, knowing how to answer questions effectively is key to a successful job interview. Job seekers test their understanding by playing an interactive exercise, Where's the Line? They learn what an employer may be trying to find out by asking certain questions and how to answer them. The course also covers questions an employer can't ask and the pros and cons of disclosing a disability or personal situation that might impact an employer's hiring decision. First impressions are lasting impressions. Job seekers also learn about the importance of personal hygiene, appropriate dress, and body language, and then apply what they've learned by helping friends choose what to wear to an interview. After receiving some last-minute reminders, the job seeker is introduced to specific interviewing skills. Using video simulations, the learner explores what to do and what not to do during an interview. The learner then applies these new interview skills during mock interview sessions. Finally, job seekers learn about the importance of following up after an interview, in writing a formal thank you note and by phone. Course 4 wraps up with a video that recaps key information on the interview process through a breaking eTrac news report. The fifth course is Evaluating and Accepting a Job Offer. This course begins by discussing things job seekers can do to stay positive while waiting to hear from an employer, including receiving encouragement from other job seekers who've been in a similar position. In the real world, every application doesn't result in an interview, and every interview doesn't result in a job offer. After learning how to respond if things don't work out as hoped, job seekers have a chance to apply what they've learned by choosing the best response in several difficult situations. Job seekers learn some common ways a job may be offered, as well as how to understand and evaluate a job offer to make sure that it meets their needs. Best practices for accepting and declining a job offer are also discussed. Once a job has been accepted, job seekers have more paperwork to tackle. In Course 5, job seekers learn about common employment forms such as W-4 and I-9 forms, as well as tips for completing them and documentation that may be required. Course 5 wraps up with an overview of the Americans with Disabilities Act and how employees with disabilities can use it to maximize their success at work. This section features a short video of employees with disabilities discussing how they requested and use accommodations at work. Job seekers also learn tips and best practices for disclosing a disability, requesting an accommodation, and about some common company programs that employees with disabilities can take advantage of, before applying what they've learned about the ADA and accommodations to their own personal situation. Course 5 wraps up with a humorous weather alert video with various members of the eTrac players reporting on the weather from different parts of the country and recapping what was learned in this course. The sixth and final course is Keeping a Job. This course focuses on the skills job seekers need to keep a job, particularly the critical soft skills that were introduced in Course 1, Exploring a Career. Course 6 expands on these to include characteristics that good employees share. Course 6 is broken into 3 sections. The first section highlights things new employees should do to prepare for their first day, like gathering important documents and deciding what to wear. It also covers ways new employees can make a good impression on supervisors and coworkers, and situations new employees may encounter during their first week, such as training, employment policies, and natural employment supports that an employee may find useful. Course 6 also addresses another important topic, unwritten workplace rules, such as appropriate dress, language, hygiene, personal boundaries, and use of company property. The first section concludes by giving learners an opportunity to apply what they've learned to several real-life situations. The second section focuses on key soft skills that employees need to be successful in the long term. Students learn tips and best practices for getting along with customers, co-workers, and supervisors, and to explore common sources of problems at work and basic problem-solving techniques. Recognizing that an employee may want to switch jobs at some point, the final section offers ways to keep their career on track, including looking for opportunities at their current employer and how to inform an employer that they are leaving a position. Like the preceding 5 courses, the final course uses a fun, lighthearted video to reinforce key information. In this case, contestants on Employer Idol are being judged on their musical talents by reviewing the characteristics that good employees share and the keys to success on the job. The eTrac curriculum concludes with a graduation ceremony and quick review of what was learned in each course. So, that was a quick tour of the 6 courses in the eTrac online vocational training curriculum. If you would like to learn more about how you or your organization can benefit from eTrac, give us a call at 651-778-1000.